Hi, everyone. It's another edition of the Corley Quarterly, brought to you by FirstBank. I'm Rich Tyner, joined now by Director of Athletics for Belmont University, Scott Corley. Scott, it's been almost a year since this whole COVID thing sort of disrupted collegiate sports. I don't think any of us thought it would last this long, but here we've gone through the fall. Now we're going into the spring semester. Let me get your initial thoughts on how things have gone in the fall semester in light of all that you've had to face.
Well, I think overall they've gone well. I mean, we've learned a lot. There's obviously been bumps along the way. There's challenges along the way. I mean, I think, we've all tried to handle it as well as we can. The uncertainty, the inability to control things like we like to, I think was a learning experience for all of us. But our coaches, our student athletes, they've been extremely resilient. My staff has been amazing, just their ability to kind of drop everything and almost focus on COVID and adjust and do those things on the fly were really impressive. And so I feel we're in a much better position as we enter the spring semester and what we've learned. Now, obviously, we all can't let our guard down. We've got to be just as diligent as ever. For us to get the basketball season started, to get with men's basketball, all their games played, we've obviously hit a little bump with women's basketball and had to pause some things. But, we're viewing those as learning opportunities, not only for the student athletes and coaches, but us as a staff and how we deal with those. So overall, feel pretty good and excited to get the spring semester started.
I suspect that most of the people watching us today probably really don't have a sense of just how much it has taken to get us to this point. About all many people know as well, I'm not able to go to games like I used to. Unbelievable, the behind the scenes work to make this happen.
Well, without a doubt, and it starts with Kim Anderson, our head athletic trainer, the amount of time and I'm not sure we could do it without her, as she has put in all these protocols or helped us put in all the protocols from obviously a medical perspective, the testing, the amount of testing that's gone into keeping our student athletes safe and those types of things has been enormous. And it's been a lot of meetings. I developed a COVID-19 management committee. We meet every week, once a week, and been doing that obviously since the fall season, since fall semester started. So just a lot of time and effort. But I think, we all did it knowing that this is what it takes. And this, if we're going to try to get a season started with basketball or try to get the spring sports going, this is what it was going to take. And it's what's necessary to keep our student athletes safe.
You mentioned basketball. Let's talk a little basketball. How about the Belmont Bruins men's basketball team? I mean, they are off to a tremendous start. I'm not sure anyone expected this level of play from the Belmont men this soon.
It's a great start. I mean, Casey Alexander and that staff just continue to do a great job. Obviously, you got good senior leadership, or veteran leadership, I should say, with Grayson Murphy and Nick Muzinski and people like that have kind of been through a start of a season, and obviously a lot of this season, most of it's mental toughness. I mean, can you get through some of the stoppages and quarantines and things like that? And that's what makes our start more impressive. Is the preseason wasn't easy. Several of the players had to be quarantined for quite a long amount of time, but now they're in a rhythm. They're just out playing good basketball right now and taking care of business. There's obviously, I think, a tougher part of the schedule is ahead of us. But all you can do is play who's in front of you, and they've done just a great job managing that.
A little difference over on the women's side in that they've been kind of shut down for a little while. And but boy, last time the women played that game against Auburn, that was a tremendous performance. I know they're anxious to get back on the court.
Yeah, it's disappointing because they were playing really well, 4-2, coming off 2 good wins. Alabama, I think A&M, and then Auburn, to go into Auburn, and that game wasn't even close. So they were playing with a lot of confidence. And it's kind of interesting because they didn't have really any issues in the preseason when it came to COVID. And unfortunately, it's hit them now after that Auburn game coming back from Christmas break. And so I fully expect the team to regroup. I expect Bart to have them ready to go the next time they can play. But, it's going to take a lot of toughness on their part to get back on track, coming out of quarantine, and obviously getting their stamina back and just getting into basketball shape is going to take a little bit of time. But, once again, they've got good leaders on that team, mixed with freshmen who are playing extremely well. And hopefully they can find their stride when they get back playing.
Well, we don't want to jump to any conclusions or make any assumptions, but we know the OVC has some pretty serious protocols set up for the conference tournament in Evansville, Indiana. But then also the NCAA now moving both men's and women's tournaments to single locations. The men in Indianapolis, the women a single location, possibly might be the San Antonio area. But, again, without making assumptions, your thoughts on all the protocols that face us down the road.
Well, I think first off, Dan Gavitt's done a great job on the men's side, and Lynn Holtzman as well on the women's side. They're great leaders, and I think the decision to have it in a single site is a smart decision. Obviously, a lot of planning had to go into that decision. Just the logistics involved in bringing 68 teams to one site, I can't imagine what all that has taken so far. The testing protocols, they're pretty strict, and I understand why you got to do it. I mean, but 7 days of testing in a row, even before you get to on site, it's just part of it. It's part of the reality of where teams are, and obviously everybody's goal is to get back to the NCAA tournament, and that'll be one of the byproducts of getting to the tournament. And I think our players and coaches, if we're fortunate enough to make it back there, I think they'll understand what it takes. And we had a little taste of that with our men's tournament in the Washington, D.C. area, where you're in that mini bubble. And so, if anything, as a player, it allows you to just focus all your time and attention on getting ready to play some basketball games. So, but I do, kudos to the NCAA staff for all the planning, all the hard work that's gone into these decisions. And obviously Indianapolis is just a great logical choice for that tournament. And, if San Antonio's where the women decide, that'll be a great location as well.
Well, this time of year, any year, it's not all about basketball, but certainly this year it's even more so. Moving all those fall sports to spring, your staff is going to be taxed this spring, right?
No doubt. They're up for it. They're excited. I mean, it's great to get the student athletes back on campus. Just the energy they bring, even in a COVID environment, is great. I won't be lacking for watching our student athletes play competitively. Every day of the week, we'll probably have something we can go out and support. But it is going to take, when we looked at the master calendar and all the different schedules, there are a few weekends that are going to have some challenges, but for the most part, I think we can manage it. And I know we can with the staff that we have. With volleyball being played on Sunday, Mondays, you got women's soccer playing on Tuesday, Fridays, men's soccer, I think it's Tuesday, Saturday. So, and then basketball is clearly the Thursday, Saturday. So, the way it's played out, I think it's manageable. It's certainly going to take a lot of effort on a lot of different people, but without a doubt, I know our staff's up for it.
The world of athletics is all about time management, and certainly these student athletes continue to prove it. On top of all the successes in the field of competition, they just continue to excel in the classroom as well.
Unbelievable. I mean, what they accomplished in the fall semester, highest department GPA in history. It just speaks to their commitment and dedication and understanding of why you're really coming to Belmont, and that's to get the education first and foremost. And a lot of that credit also has to go to all the professors that, in a virtual environment or a hybrid model, the way they are able to educate any student on this campus is amazing. And so hats off to all the student athletes and our coaches. They emphasize it, and they understand the importance of it as well. But I couldn't be more proud of our student athletes. It's a wonderful accomplishment in a very challenging environment.
Scott, let's wrap it up on a personal note. Any big New Year's resolutions you made this year, or maybe something specific that you want to express that you're thankful for from coming out of this holiday season?
Well, I mean, I'm thankful for a lot of things, and hopefully everyone who's watching this has time to reflect on what they're grateful for. First and foremost, I'm grateful for a very understanding wife. My work-life balance hasn't been probably where it needs to be these past 10 months, and she understands that, and I'm grateful for that support during some challenging times. But thankful for just an amazing staff and a group of people that I get to work with every day as we try to handle these challenges. Everyone comes in with a positive attitude, and so I couldn't be more appreciative of that, and in challenging times help bring that to light, right? Where you really see what people are made of and what teams are made of. And so it's just it's a blessing to be at Belmont. It's a blessing to do what I get to do, and even with the challenges of COVID, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. So I'm just very appreciative of all that, and can't say enough how thankful I am.
Well, Scott, we certainly appreciate all of your hard work on behalf of these student athletes, and we appreciate your time with us today. And we want to invite all of the fans, the Belmont Bruins fans. We appreciate their support through all of this as well. And we thank you guys for watching and checking in with us this time. Be watching again, because the next edition of Quarterly will be coming up sooner than you think. It's all brought to you by FirstBank. Thanks for watching.